Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss the already much discussed Thin Places by Kerri Dochartaigh. Now the reason why this book has been much discussed is if you've been able to hear of this book before or be aware of its reputation, it is a very divisive book. And it was published last year, I think in 2022. Oh no, gosh, 2021. My goodness, how time flies. Published in 2021, and it was published to much acclaim. Kerri is an Irish writer born in Derry in 1983, and she'd done many essays before and done quite a few long pieces, but this was her first novel. And it is a really interesting premise, where Kerri draws on her own experience of life in the Troubles, not in an orthodox way, but in a stream of almost conscious and subconscious, which weaves through her early life of experiencing of a community divided, a family torn apart, the loss of loved ones and people she has coming in and out of her life, but also more profoundly, it is a psychological essay because it is about the damage that the Troubles and the legacy of the Troubles caused and continues to cause for her, and one that blends with it a love of the natural world, that sees the natural world as a point of healing and of lift-off of the soul. Sounds great. The only problem is it is hard to read because it is an extremely singular voice that is literally just a stream of subconscious. Structure is extremely hard to pinpoint, and for those who really appreciate the craft and skill of new writing, you may enjoy it because this is brave writing. It's new type stuff. But for those who prefer a more orthodox structure of character development or plot development and a narrative arc that has a beginning, middle, end, and a point and a clear themes, that you will struggle with this. So I actually read this some time ago, I'll be honest, and I wasn't going to review it because I really struggled with it, and I don't like to be overly negative. I prefer to platform books that I enjoy because it's always easy to knock, and I've written 2 books myself and I know how hard the publishing industry is. So I want to be supportive of writers. What made me change my mind was in 2022, so at the end of 22, you have these sort of best of books, don't you? So books of the year, etc. And someone in The Guardian picked Thin Places by Kerri Dochartaigh, and I was like, you what? Really? Of all the books that have been published and been platformed this year, you picked Thin Places? And I thought, is it me? Okay, I'm going to go back, I'm going to read it again, and I'm going to see whether it was just me, was it a mood I was in or whatever. So I finished it again quite recently. I mean, it's still not for me. So the reason why I want to chat about this today is to add my voice to those who feel that this book wasn't for them, that it has so much praise from big literary figures and is seen as a piece of art. And you just think, is it me? I'm here to say it's not just you. This is an extremely challenging book. However, if you are someone who is curious about styles of writing that are controversial, that are deliberately hard to follow and challenge the reader, then Thin Places may well be for you. So, like I said, Kerri, born in 1983 in Derry, and she draws on the Troubles as the source of the psychological challenges and mental health issues that she has had through her young adulthood and on into adulthood. Her relationship with her father, her family split in 2, the communities in Ireland, and like I say, the healing power of nature. It doesn't follow an obvious arc, so it's not as if you start here and you end up in this place of healing. The narrative is hard to follow. Sentences go on, paragraphs go on, and it'll be nothing about the Troubles. And then suddenly, boom, one of my friends was murdered. And then you'll go into a whole sequence about snow or about birds. And then it's, by the way, my father called. And her father hasn't appeared for like the whole book, and you're 2/3 of the way through the book. And it's hard to pinpoint the reasoning or the rationale of what Kerri's trying to get you to do. In fact, what she's trying to do, I suspect, is throw out her psychology, what is in her head, and ask you, the reader, to make sense of it. Which is a lovely thought, but after 250 pages, you just think, oh God, I haven't got the energy for this. It reminded me a lot of reading Grace Jones's autobiography and I've forgotten the actress who was in Wish You Were Here. Emily Lloyd's autobiography, which I reviewed ages ago. And I remember for both of those writers, their autobiographies were extremely scattered, as if they had holes in their memory and couldn't remember everything from their past. It was a bit jumpy, and you kept jumping through episodes of their life. And it's a bit like this. You suddenly find yourself forward 10 years, then it's a bit about nature, then you go back 10 years, and then it's the narrative. So not only does it not follow a linear structure in terms of time, but it also doesn't follow a structure in terms of, this is where I was psychologically at the beginning, this is where I'm psychologically at the end. Like I say, it demands the reader make sense of what is a troubled soul. So, but I don't want to say like this is all, I want to give an example. Let me read from this, because she's a beautiful writer, Kerri Nee Dochartaigh, and she's clearly going to be a profound talent and a writer of interest. So I want to read you a little bit from this book. It's going to be about light, because I want to demonstrate to you the extent to which this feels at times like very lyrical poetry, really dense prose at times. So don't feel this is a political drama. This is very in your head, yeah. But it's beautiful. But what I want to reflect on this is beautiful writing. Imagine 250 pages of this. Okay. I had never realised how light worked before the winter. Light that is neither here nor there. Light that comes from nowhere at all, and from everywhere too. Light that feels like such a gift, a guide, a way to feel strong and safe. Light that will fall onto the land and the water, no matter what is happening there, no matter what might have already happened there, no matter what may come to that body of water, that stretch of land in the days ahead. Light that must, like the birds, have been throwing itself down onto the patch of land you are standing on, dirtied underfoot with muddied snow for many moons before you came along. Light that will still shine down when the snow is gone, when you are gone, just as white and silent. Light that is as much an offering as anything you could bring into your space. Light that you cannot hold close in any physical, tangible way, but that you see, decades later, that you have carried with you from brick building to brick building, across seas and borders, from place to place. Light that holds you in place. Light that calls you with it to any and every place it falls. Beautiful. This isn't a book about the Troubles. So that is what I'm on about. It's beautiful sections of writing. But if you like that writing and you use this almost as a meditative book, one that you read for in bits and reflect on, you may get more out of it than I did. Because I enjoy reading and I enjoy plots, there is a sense that I do read 2 or 3 books a week. And I found this I couldn't concentrate on this book. I found a thread difficult, and I found Kerri's life hard to follow, much as I'm sure she has, as you can hear, fascinating insights and beautiful writing. I just struggled. So this goes out to all those who struggled with this book too. However, if what I've read sounds interesting, please. Thin Places is a book that deserves attention, maybe for reasons that aren't all universally praised.